was kind of always picked on as a kid, you know. I was never strong, I was never fast. I hated being bullied. So I always promised myself I'm gonna be strong. So it's kind of like I lift weights, think, okay, if you're big, no one's gonna mess with me, right? So I lift weights, get strong, yeah. You know, I kind of got together with a group of people in my neighborhood that I thought was strong. So no one messed with me, you know what I'm saying? Some things happened in my life. I joined the military. I joined the military. It brought me outside of my environment I was at and flew me overseas to Japan. So I entered Japan, and of course I had a big chip on my shoulder, a big ego, humongous ego, you know what I'm saying? At that time I was probably like 230, lift weights, beat up people in bars, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to be the big tough guy, so to pick a big old front so no one messed with me, you know what I'm saying? So then I met this guy. His name is Mike Thomas. He's actually here in Litchfield Park. Got Claudio into Jiu-Jitsu at the same time. Kind of like I was sick. I had the flu, and I was like, oh man, I can't do nothing. Let me watch some movies. So I go to the local video store, pick up UFC, watch it. This guy named Royce Gracie choking people out. I was like, that looks like fun. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right. At the gym one day, lifting weights. Oh yeah, I got a good pump. You know, I used to think that was bad. So I was like, hey, yeah, man, there's this thing called Jiu-Jitsu. I want to learn it, you know? He was like, oh, yeah, I do this. I train. Me and a bunch of guys get together. We train Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, let's go. I'm like, all right. So I go to a gym on the base, and it was kind of like a bunch of tough guys who just beat the crap out of each other, don't really know anything. Get my ass whipped for a couple months, and finally Mike was like, you know, we're not learning nothing over here. I got this gym off base, so let's go train. I'm like, all right, let's go train. I go. And no shit, this 120-pound Japanese guy named Gozo beats the crap out of me. All right, now I'm like 230. I'm like walking around like this, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat this guy up. Puts me on my back, submit me. Again, back, submit me. You know what I'm saying? And when something's really tough for me, I try to do it so I'm not afraid of it, so I get good at it. You know what I mean? So I first started training MMA, bam. But, you know, I have military job, wife, kids, you know. So basically I was mediocre at everything instead of being good at something. So pretty much I chose one thing to be good at. And that was my favorite thing to do was Jiu-Jitsu. You know, because like I said, I was never the fastest, I was never the strongest, but I always could keep going. I always try hard. I always keep going. And, you know, and Jiu-Jitsu is perfect because for me, it is, you don't have to be strong and powerful to be good. You know, you don't have to be the best. You just have to learn and apply the technique. It takes patience and lots of training, and I can do that, and I'm good at that. Tried a bunch of different gyms out here, and didn't really get the feeling that was like a family atmosphere. Didn't get the feeling of good training. It was more business and more. It was like more about the money and more about churning out like what is appealing to the public, so everybody could do it, which we do here too, but at the same time, for the people who are serious, they have more serious kind of training. So I came here, met a couple black belts, Ricardo Zanalato at the first time, and Raul Vieira, and we gelled really good. I ended up having to go to Korea for a year, leave my family here, and Chip and his wife and kids, they took care of my family when I was gone. So after I did a year out there, ran a gym out there, came back, and now I'm here. And that's how I got here. And that's how I'm running the Jiu-Jitsu program here. Is we rotate black belts in and out, but pretty much I'm here for the continuity of the gym. It's like you have this big ego. So like when you interact with everybody, you interact with another ego. Oh, I'm bad. Oh yeah, I'm a fighter, whatever, right? Or oh, I'm bad. I'm tough. I'm strong. You know. So you always have this ego out there. You know what I'm saying? But before you were a child, you were innocent, you were like, you know, playful, you were full of life, you got along with everybody. And then pretty soon you built this like wall around you because you always want to make yourself better than that other person. You know what I'm saying? So instead of being better than another person, it's like, you know, everybody's equal. You know, I don't care if you have $1 million, I don't care if you're a bum, we're all the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of got me to that point I was before I got this ego. It kind of like makes me more grounded, like a little kid again. Martial arts, that's what it helps me do. You know what I'm saying? It helps me helps me be more of a person instead of whatever you build up inside of your head, because that's all fake. You know what I mean? So as a person, yeah, that's kind of what martial arts have done for me. It's good for me because it's a place where you could come and just relax. You know what I'm saying? I have friends here. You know, it's like Lil Gabe's my brother. I always look after him for the jiu-jitsu part. You know, all the guys in the class, they're like my responsibility. You know what I mean? So it's like when I have a family, you know, it's like give and take. They take care of me like when I was gone. You know, my family had to move. They were there. They needed problems. They were there. They had problems. They were there to help them when I couldn't be. You know what I mean? I come here. It's like coming home. This is my home away from home because I'm here every day. You know, and it's like watching people grow up. Like you could get people like Gabe, who's going to always be tremendous athlete, tremendous fighter. You could get people like Joe Riggs, who's very strong. You know, it doesn't matter where they go, they're going to be great. But like the ones that, you know, like kind of like you're like cultivating, like, you know, like kind of like your child that are good are the ones you never expect to be good. Like kind of like the ones who never really compete at anything, who are never really strong. When they start getting it, that's the like the reward. That's like you're like, oh, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like Frank, you know, like Frank, you know, he's like probably my favorite student of all. Not because he's the best, but because he came from nothing and became strong. You know, he would have never done anything competitive in his life, and he tried this and he stuck with it, and he's good, and he actually won a tournament. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that. You know, it's kind of like having a bunch of little brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? And some older too, and they look after you. And it's good. My future, I'm more of a coach and a fighter. I admit that straight up. I'm more of the behind the scenes kind of guy. But I also get out there and compete for jiu-jitsu. I think maybe in 1 or 2 years, hopefully I get a black belt. I'm a brown belt right now. I've been a brown belt for about a year. Hopefully the training keeps progressing. I get a black belt, and then I'm going to make the transition for fights standing up and wrestling and all that. And I want to fight MMA because I don't want to be 40 years old, 50 years old thinking back like, man, I should have did that, you know? So it's all, you know, full throttle from here on out. Train jiu-jitsu hard. Then I'm going to switch gears and train for fight hard. And then you'll probably see me. I'm 28 now. So maybe by the time I'm 30, black belt. By the time I'm 31, get some fights before I start leaving my prime. That's my plan.
That's a good plan.